It's been 1 year since President Trump began his second term, and the Department of the Interior has emerged as a key player in the administration's push for energy dominance, economic growth, and national security. That message was front and center this week when President Trump spoke at the World Economic Forum, challenging global elites on energy, trade, and America First priorities. Joining us now to discuss is Interior Secretary Doug Burgum. Mr. Secretary, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jan. Great to be with you.
Well, thanks for joining us. And the administration says its focus has been on reversing failed policies and really refocusing the federal government on access, affordability, and he mentioned accountability yesterday. What would you say best defines the Interior Department's first year under President Trump's second term?
Well, President Trump's had an amazing first year. Taxes are down, inflation is down, job growth is up, the border is secure, red tape has been cut. This is putting dollars back in Americans' pockets across the country, and of course, President Trump bringing prosperity at home and peace abroad. And what a week he's having in Davos this week, leading the whole world.
Energy certainly front and center at that speech at Davos. The president really drawing this sharp contrast between his economic vision and American energy production and failed globalist policies. As Interior Secretary, we know that you oversee a vast large swath of federal lands, federal resources. How does energy dominance strengthen U.S. leverage abroad and lower costs here at home, especially at a time of this global instability?
Well, energy dominance is really about energy abundance. I mean, people used to talk about energy independence, but energy independence means you're maybe slightly producing a little bit more than you consume. Any changes in the world market shoot the prices up at the pump for Americans. But when we can sell energy to our friends and allies versus have them buy it from our adversaries, this is how we take the influence of people like Iran or Russia off the table. In terms of the global thing. And with President Trump, what's happening in America, what's happening in Venezuela, literally this is life-changing, where we're moving the geopolitical center of oil to the west, back to the Western Hemisphere, which means jobs for Americans, lower prices at the pump, and national security, and our ability to do things like we have displaced 67% of the Russian gas that Western Europe was dependent on by shipping LNG from America to Europe. And President Biden had stopped our ability even to build LNG export facilities. Just crazy stuff versus us having an opportunity again to sell energy to our allies, bring prices down for Americans.
Yeah, President talked about that. In fact, he also criticized over-regulation and bureaucratic delays. You talked a lot about permitting reform and cutting all that red tape. So what has the Interior done to streamline permitting and regulatory processes on federal lands, and what impact are you seeing right now really at the state and local levels?
Well, this is important, Jan, because federal lands make up about 20% of America, but sometimes even more than that in terms of where our energy production, our mining is going on in this country, timber, grazing on federal lands. And that includes both offshore as well as onshore. But President Trump, some of these permitting process took years, in some cases decades. There was a mine in Arizona that had been trying to get a permit for 29 years. Under President Trump, it happened in 4 months. We've taken processes that take 1 year and 2 years. We've got them down to 2 weeks to 4 weeks, and without cutting any corners, just not letting these permits, sit on someone's inbox in their email for a month before the next person picks it up and moves it forward. So it is in a whole new world. The private sector is learning they've got to move at the speed of Trump, and this is not the speed of government anymore. And President Trump is moving quickly, because if we don't have national security around energy, we don't have national security at all. And so he gets it, he understands it, and energy diplomacy is one of the reasons he's been able to end these 8 wars abroad.
As you head into year 2, what are the Interior Department's top priorities when it comes to energy and critical minerals, strategic lands? What should Americans be watching for next?
Well, I think we've had a fantastic year under President Trump's leadership, basically turning the ship around from the failed policies that much of Europe and the Biden administration was pushing. But when we look forward to this year, this is driving forward. It's building great things quickly. I mean, building infrastructure like the Alaskan LNG pipeline, which will help us secure peace in the Pacific and create opportunities to sell to our allies, Japan and Korea. Greenland in the news today again. Greenland has an opportunity to be to America what Alaska was And again, that was a purchase that the United States made of Alaska. People at the time called it Seward's Folly. And of course, Alaska thriving today, strong economy, huge budget buildup where they can provide payments to all of the citizens in Alaska, and an energy powerhouse for America. So President Trump's got vision for the future, whether it's in securing Latin America or providing security for North America and NATO. And how fun it is to be executing against all these things that are, again, making the world safer and Americans more prosperous.
And we will be watching how this all plays out in the months ahead and hope to check back in with you again. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum, thank you for your time this morning. We appreciate the update.
Thank you, Jan.